So, Mafia Material Mobcast, episode number 40, holiday edition. Work. So, first, we're gonna talk about your boy Dave Chappelle, man. One of the comedy goats for sure. Yeah. So Dave Chappelle's newest comedy special titled Dave Chappelle, The Unstoppable. Full name is reportedly longer. Well, the full name is The Unstoppable Nigger Act. Right? It would drop on some surprise shit by Netflix on December 19th. I was late watching it. Well, Pat actually told me to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Or told me that it was up there. So the special was 75 minutes. It was filmed in his hometown of Washington, D.C. And it was described as a mix of current events, commentary, and personal anecdotes and shit. Right? Focusing on controversial and thought-provoking topics, as we all know Dave for, such as politics and current events. He touched on, the usual Donald Trump, Elon Musk, the protest. He talked about gentrification, specifically how he had been buying up, his the town that he lives in. I believe Yellow Springs, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the war in the Middle East, and he notably discussed the death of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, and the fact that people were making comparisons between Charlie Kirk and Martin Luther King. That was around the time where my ass kind of like tuned off. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when I realized we were really just in a microwave era. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. Ain't no way. And I ain't even like, a big fan of all the activists and all that shit or whatever. But he talked about cancel culture and free speech, addressing the criticism that he faced in recent years, defending his decision to perform in places like Saudi Arabia, and questioning public outrages and selective nature. You know what I'm saying? Or public outrages, selective nature and shit. But we seen a special from Chris Rock, another one of my favorite comedians, called Selective Outrage. Low key, it's become my favorite word to use against people. He even argued that he could speak more freely in the United States he could speak more freely in Saudi Arabia or abroad than he can in the United States. Especially when it comes to jokes about Transformers. You know what I'm saying? Because he told a joke about how they have the Falcon or whatever, and he had the Falcon on his arm, and even at the end of the joint, like you kind of see him walking on stage with a Falcon. And he tells this funny story about how the Falcon, like he takes the mask off, saying that the Falcon can't even see the show. That the Falcon flies up and does a dive or whatever, like 240 miles per hour, some crazy shit that he said they clocked it at. And he said that it killed a transformer in the front row, and that he was arrested, for the unaliving of the Transformer. And when he went to court, he was found guilty, but that he was believed when he found out that offering the Transformer in Saudi Arabia is a misdemeanor. Oh man! And when I heard that, I said, "Damn," because we were talking about we've been talking about all the Diddy shit, and even we recently were covering Young Buck, and I was saying like with all the Fat Joe shit, like he might mess with them punk, but he ain't a punk. And shit, even somebody we had on the show, Bullet Gotti, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if the rumors are 100% true. I know it kind of sound like the nigga, but I just say this. To all the people in here, whatever, trying to sneak around with the boys, if you really don't want to get it, you don't want it to get out, or you feel like you might get blackmailed or something, take their ass to Saudi Arabia. Get you a Falcon, take the mask off, get you a little misdemeanor, all evidence of your debauchery is over with. Just a thought. You touched on celebrity and personal life, talking about accumulating property in Yellow Springs, Ohio, where he lived, and basically how he was buying up all the property, and like me and Will were touching on yesterday. Dog. What did he say? He said, yeah, if he was white, they would call it gentrification, but being that he's black, there's not really a word for what he's doing, you know what I mean, like to them people. So that shit was funny. He talked about they sold, like they tried to auction off, they built a new firehouse, and then they tried to auction off the old firehouse while he was out of town. And that somebody gave him the drop or whatever. He did this whole thing like, my lord. And how he turned the firehouse into a comedy and music club. And how, he had interactions with famous people like Mick Jagger, who he said like, yo, you got to come and perform in my club. But Mick Jagger was like, yo, they're going to be girls, like, you know what I'm saying? And so they was like, live. But I guess he thinking, rock star, he probably wants some bad bitches. And so he's like, no, Dave, you know the type of girls I like. Dirty girls. He said, what do you say? He said the white bitches with dirty feet or some shit. And like, that nigga made a joke before in another special or whatever, saying how, yeah, it was filled with like, he said he was dealing with dirty hippie pussy. You know what I mean? All this shit. So, that was that. Talked about Stevie Wonder, and the whole like civil rights thing. Actually broke down how Stevie Wonder, the Happy Birthday song, which is something I didn't know. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, the black version of Happy Birthday. I wonder if y'all gonna sing that to Black Jesus today. But anyway, he also made some comments. Naturally, we knew it was coming about Sean Diddy Combs amidst all the legal issues, which had drawn some criticism from the accusers and all that. And I mean, shit, everybody about to talk about Diddy. I mean, Uncle Murder is about to drop the rapper. Diddy about to headline that shit for the second year in a row. And we actually got some Diddy news or whatever coming up too. But many reviewers uh kind of pointed out that the special felt less like a traditional stand-up, with the rapid fire jokes and all of that, and it was more like a long-winded narrative or victory lap. And I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, he definitely, there was definitely like periods of like where it was just no joke, but I don't remember a time when Dave's comedy wasn't like that. Like, where there wasn't a point where he kind of steps out of the comedic shit and there's like a serious conversation, and you're kind of like in a serious mode, and then it's just this butt, like it's like always this big butt, like in the whole thing, like you know what I'm saying. So I don't know, like that seemed pretty normal to me, you know. Like I said, the happy birthday song, whatever, was like I don't know if I finished that thought. But Stevie Wonder's happy birthday song was created as a part of the lobby to turn Martin Luther King's birthday into a national holiday. You know what I'm saying? He had somewhat of an ambitious closer. Like the last half hour is a single epic story that kind of ties together like all these various historical and cultural figures and events and shit, including boxer Jack Johnson, which he kind of ties into the whole thing of the Mann Act, which is what he called the Unstoppable Nigger Act. Because he talked about how Jack Johnson was out here beating the hell out of white dudes in the boxing ring. First black heavyweight champion of the world. Fucking white girl. And some more shit. Like, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers be out here speeding, talking to police crazy. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, they said that basically the Mann Act was created for people like Jack Johnson. Like, the nigga just seemed unstoppable. And so he called the Mann Act the Unstoppable Nigger Act. And that is the actual full title of the Netflix series. You know what I'm saying? He talked about Nipsey Hussle and how he met Nipsey with T.I. and all that shit. And then he was saying how, like, to the Charlie Kirk fans or whatever, or people who supported Charlie Kirk, he said he emphasizes with them because he knows how it feels to have someone that you admire or support be killed by fucking nobody. That's usually how it goes. That's why Jay-Z said, if I shoot you, I'm branded. But if you shoot me, you're famous. What's the nigga to do? On the subject of the whole Martin Luther King thing, he even with Stevie Wonder and all of that, he talked about how John McCain was the one person that voted to not have Martin Luther King's birthday be a national holiday. And ironically, how he had to run against Barack Obama, who won the, I guess was picked by the Democrats, won the primary or whatever. on the day, on the anniversary of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, you know. But he also talked about his mentor, Charlie Burnett, you know what I mean? And he kind of tied in that whole story, the Dr. Sebi thing. He tied it into Nipsey and, you know, saying how conspiracy theorists were saying like Nipsey was killed because he was going to do a documentary on Dr. Sebi. And it kind of comes from in the beginning where he said all the conspiracy, like if you don't know what the conspiracy is or you're not sure, there's nothing wrong with saying I don't know. And it's crazy because I've been saying that. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying I don't know. Man. It's the smartest answer you can give sometimes. You know? But yeah, he talked about how Dr. Sebi, you know, beat New York State and the feds when they tried to challenge him for the claim that he cured 2 people holistically with, you know, holistically of AIDS and all this shit. And how Charlie Burnett was, you know, a drug addict and all of this shit. And so one time he said that he seen Charlie looked real bad. So he said, "What's wrong with you? You high?" He said, "Nah, I ain't high." He said, "I'm dying." And he told him, he told Dave that he got AIDS. And he was like, "Nigga, like fuck that." And so Dave said he took him to Dr. Sebi. And you know, everybody started clapping. He was like, "What I'm trying to tell you is so." What I'm trying to say is, Charlie died of AIDS. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is what I mean. Like, he'll go in this whole serious story. He's like, "Oh, damn, your mentor," and all this other shit. And then this nigga just turn around and do some whole other shit. So the joint was definitely provocative and unfiltered. To me, true to his style and shit. The punchlines, even though like some people might say they were drawn out, but they were potent. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, yeah. It's like if you ever smoked the weed that kind of seemed weak at first, but then it sneak up on you, and you're like, "Oh shit, that's that." You know what I mean? Same no hold bar approach. You know what I mean? A lot of shock value. The special generated, you know, mixed reactions from what I was seeing. Some praising it, you know, the ambitious storytelling, and others feeling like it's a self-indulgent or poor taste and all that shit. But y'all can watch it for yourself and shit. It's exclusively on Netflix. Shout out that nigga Dave. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan. I don't care what these other niggas say about you. You know, fuck with shit.